Hey everybody, welcome into the first edition of the UIS Coaches Show. Alongside Matt Brock, head coach for the Prairie Stars, it's Larry Larson in with you. Glad you're with us. And Coach, opening day coming up on Friday, last exhibition coming up here tonight against NIU. It's an exciting time of year.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of work's gone into getting ready to finally play somebody different, and our guys are excited. You know, they worked extremely hard in the spring, in the summer, and now the preseason, and we're ready to play somebody different.
100%, and this is your guys' second exhibition game before you open up the season on Friday at Parkside. What have you seen in these early exhibition games and early practices?
You know, we had some growth. I really liked how we played last week. It was actually a scrimmage, but a good competition, and played really well on the offensive side, shot the ball well, and defended at a high level, and that's what it's going to take to be successful in the GLVC. We're going to have to be a great defensive team, but also be able to put the ball in the basket, and it was exciting to see that we could do both of those things.
Yeah. And speaking on putting the ball in the basket a little bit, looking at last year's roster, 3 of the 4 top scorers now departed off the team, graduated, transfer, whatnot. Who stepped up over the offseason to fill those shoes?
You know, we had 11 freshmen and sophomores out of 14 guys last year, so we were extremely young, and we did lose some guys that put the ball in the basket for us, but we've got our core back, and they're all older, and it's really exciting. You got Jack Weber, who was an all-freshman player a couple of years ago. You got Evan Altman and Jordan Rice, who were on the all-freshman team last year. So a lot of bright spots and a lot of guys that are maturing into the player that we hope they could be, and are going to take that big step forward from their freshman to sophomore year this year.
You mentioned those players who maybe on the youthful side, Jack Weber, Jordan Rice in particular, 2 guys that had nice years last year. Big expectations for them this year, I'm sure. What have you seen from them over the offseason?
Both are improved. You know, they both have worked hard in the offseason. The good thing about those 2 guys is your point guard and your center are arguably the 2 most important players, and we got good ones at both those spots. And those 2 guys are starting to connect well and play well together, and kind of you can tell that they've been playing together for a long time, and so we're excited about that. You know, Jordan, with his dynamic athleticism, his quickness, can impact the game both offensively and defensively, and Jack is such a skilled offensive player that he demands a double team, and so it makes it easier on his teammates, and hopefully this year we've surrounded him with some more shooting that's going to open things up for him even more.
And you mentioned some of those shooters, a lot of those shooters coming in through the transfer portal, 4 guards coming in through transfer. What can we expect from some of those guys?
Yeah, you know, we kind of loaded up in that sophomore class, so we wanted to kind of balance our classes a little bit. Took some grad transfers. We needed a little more experience, some guys that have been around the block, and you know, Keith, Michael, DeAndre, and Max have all been great additions. You know, they shoot the ball at a high level. They've been through it before, and hopefully that they can draw from that experience and help our guys, and they come from winning programs, and that's something that we're trying to build at UIS, that, you know, hopefully that can translate into our younger guys aging up and understanding what it takes to win and what it takes to be a consistent Division II program.
And it is hard to win in the GLVC, and you guys were picked 9th in the preseason poll. I know certainly the players, and I'm sure you don't buy too much into that, but do you guys use that as a motivating factor maybe?
You know, I don't spend a lot of time thinking about it. You know, I think most of the guys, most of the coaches in the league just kind of look at last year's standings and then copy and paste, you know, because they're worried about other things. But, you know, we'll look at that. And, you know, I think we were voted probably a little lower than you would have wanted to be. But, you know, we're much more interested in where we're at the end of the year. And I think, you know, our league is a little more open. You know, I think there's a lot of guys transferred, a lot of guys graduated. We were a super old league last year, 5th and 6th year guys everywhere. So it's kind of there's a lot of new faces and a lot of opportunity, I think, for us to take a step forward and get into that top half of the GLVC and make some noise.
Now looking at the opening part of the season here, Parkside crossover tournament coming up over the weekend. You've got Ashland and Kentucky Wesleyan. What do you know about those matchups, and what are you expecting in those games?
2 really strong programs. You know, Ashland has been a perennial NCAA team the last 5 to 10 years. Kentucky Wesleyan, historically one of the best Division II programs in the country. Played them last year. It was a tough game at Lindenwood, first game of the year. They got us in a close one. And then Ashland, this is our first time playing them, but a lot of respect for them. That league was really strong last year. The GMAC, both those teams are picked in the top 4 in the GMAC. So we got our work cut out for us, and we're trying to gather as much information as we can on some teams. There's not as much film out there yet, so we're going to do the best we can. But we're excited to get out there and play, and our guys are going to be ready to compete, and hopefully going to be ready for anything, and ready to play a big-time D2 game right off the bat. That's just the nature of our conference crossover. Instead of being a little farther into the season where I would prefer it, you got to do it right off the bat. So everybody's in that boat, and we're going to be ready for it.
Always good to have a challenge right out of the gate. One last question for you here, Coach. Appreciate your time here, but before a game, if fans are going to pick one thing to be excited about, look forward to the most this year, what is it about this Prairie Star squad?
I think we're a team that's really connected. I think the big piece that we were missing last year, we did not shoot the ball very well. So you could have a great offensive possession and get a wide open shot, and it just didn't seem like it went in enough. We've really looked to fix that this offseason, adding the shooters that we've added. And so hopefully we're going to make some more threes, and I know fans like that style. But, I think you're going to find a team that's going to play extremely hard. That's really a group of guys that you can be really excited to support because they're high-quality, high-character guys, and they're going to be playing hard and playing together.
Well, Coach, I'm certainly looking forward to watching here tonight and coming up this weekend. Coach Matt Brock from UIS, appreciate your time, and best of luck tonight.
Thanks, Larry.